Hello viewers, welcome to Express Politics on CVRC. I am Oyedo Samuel, and with me in the studio today is Mr. Akintunde Somin Vincent. He is the lead analyst on CVRC. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And today we shall be looking at the assessment of Buhari regime. So far, so good. 7.5 years have been spent in Buhari regime, and 2023 election is fast approaching. So we want to take a look at what has been done in Buhari regime before they hand over to another government coming up next year. So that is the reason why we have our seasoning analyst here that will throw light or the questions that we'll be asking him. You're welcome once again. Sir, please, what led to the emergence of Buhari?
Well, the emergence of Buhari, the power that, the government that actually handed over power to him, it was presumed that there are so many corrupt elements, corrupt individuals in that particular administration. And so many of them were answering cases from the anti-graft agencies, from the EFCC to the ICPC. And we also noticed the way people, the government was so carefree to allow people to operate, to allow looters to really move around the country, and the broad daylight to keep hearing this and that. Then people could also perceive that there are so many precedents in that same outside President Jonathan, that we had other ministers who were parading, who were also working in capacity of the president too. And don't forget then, if we could recall vividly, the then Minister of Petroleum, then Alison Madweke, then were answering answering case questions here and there from the FCC, some account being traced to London for money laundering. And not only her, we also have others too. So it was this corruption, this issue of corruption, that led to the emergence of President Buhari. Don't forget, he was once a military head of state.
Yes. So
people believe that, okay, a man who has once a soldier, always a soldier.
Yes.
So that was the belief that, okay, this man coming to the fore now will definitely sanitize the system.
Okay, let's take a look at the campaign level. Back in the days in 2015, we echo change, APC change, that we want a new Nigeria, we want a change of government, and I'm very sure that in our mind then we want a better change of a better life to the citizens of the country. Now let's take a look at the promises during the campaign. Do you think they are fulfilled, or on what percentage can you rate them?
Well, percentage should not be there, because if you ask the goose, he will tell you he has done his best. Ask the gander, we also tell you that he has done his best as regards governance. But in my opinion, I think that the emergence of this current administration, they had three pivots. They were able to propel themselves on three pivots, and one of them is to fight corruption. They promised to fight corruption, and number two, they also promised to fight to handle insecurity, to handle it headlong, to take it serious as compared to the past administration. And again, they also promised to look after the well-being of the citizens.
Yes.
But so far so good. Insecurity is still very much the order of the day. We saw yesterday how kidnappers were flogging those that were abducted. And they were in this country, not in another country. Catholic priests, virtually every day now, it's becoming a daily anthem that you see one priest being kidnapped. And again, our roads are in a state of squalor. Our roads, as we speak now, is becoming a banditry headquarter. Don't talk of our schools. Our schools are also becoming kidnappers then. So what I would say in essence, insecurity is still the order of the day. But is that it's not just, we cannot just accuse this current administration of the kind of insecurity that we are experiencing today, but the point is the promise they are going to make a change. And the well-being of the society. Another one is the issue of petroleum products recently. At the point in time, we all knew when the petroleum was still very much less than 100 naira in this country, but now, as we speak, I think it's 180.
It's 180 now.
So you could see, but the point is, it's not as if that we cannot totally nail them to the cross. You know what, people, we have some routes in this country that people used to travel 4 days.
Yes.
But now, in less than 50 or 60 minutes, in less than you get where you get your destination. But the point is, are they working? Yes, they are working. But the point is, maybe their best isn't just good for the country at the moment.
Okay, let's look at the state of the country right now. We knew how things have been run in the past administrative, and we know how things are right now. So, with the state of the country right now, or of the nation at large, what can you say? Is it better to that of the past?
If you take a look at the sector, whole sector at the moment, they seems to be experiencing one backlash or the other. Virtually all the sector. And what am I saying in essence is, take a look at all the ministerial, all the ministries in this country. Be it even to say the least, agricultural ministry, the Ministry of Agriculture. We have so many farmers now who could not even farm, who could not even access their land anymore due to insecurity. Those who can access the land, fertilizer to even work on their land is very expensive. Take a look at those who are into animal husbandry. Look at the humongous amount on feed mills. Look at the amount that those who are into fishery, those who are into poultry. Look at. You were in this country during Christmas.
Yes.
Chicken is
to
even get the chicken is becoming something. Is becoming very very difficult. So people have to resort to this gelatin, what the popular the Yorubas pomo, to just make merriment for the season. So virtually our sector. Look at the educational sector. The Ministry of Education too. ASU still very much on strike. And look at the number of underage.
NLC.
To join to solidarity protest. Yes. Look at the number of out of school children. Look at the number of children that are hawking in the street. And look at those who are so discouraged that what is the essence of going to school? If those who have studied to the peak, they've done their first degree, they've done their second degree, and some even their third degree, doctors could be called to be teaching biology in our secondary schools. And that's why every day go to our immigration offices. You will see the rate at which people are bombarding those areas because they just want to get their travel document to move out of the country. But even at that, we cannot say the government, they are not working. They are working. There's a difference between let me rephrase. Okay. The difference between crawling, walking and flying. Running, flying. Okay, yeah. So maybe I'm not the one saying it. Perhaps one could say maybe the country is crawling as against walking. Meanwhile, we have other countries that are already flying. What is stopping us from flying?
Is it that we don't have the resources?
What's stopping us from flying? So it's a question that is begging for answer.
Okay, let's go to 2023. We are still in 2022, but let's fast forward to 2023. Our edition 2023 is what is going to determine our fate for the next 4 or 8 years. Let's say 4 years. Mm-hmm. So, what's your take on we have so many dilemmas going on and there, Muslim tickets, the emergence of Atiku, Tinubu, and the rest, Peter Obi, Kwanko, we have them like that. So, what should we be expecting? This whole scenario is like, I have a kind of a different mindset towards it. In as much religion is part of our daily life. As regards governance,
that should be secondary. It's a case of a man wants to get married and he say, no, I have to marry from my church. Oh. Of course, it's good if you marry from your church, but the point is that person in your church is that a man your bone of bone? Is that your flesh of flesh? If the man is not your bone of bone, even if it's from your service unit, you are going to be in trouble. So the point is either Muslim ticket or Christian ticket. The point is, it is imperative for us to pray to God that the right man emerges as a president. In the history of this country, but on the converse, before I go into history,
Okay.
right from our democracy, check it. During the period of Obasanjo is a Christian from the south, and we have the vice president Atiku Abubakar from the north.
Yes.
We have after Obasanjo, we have President Yaradua from the north. We have Vice President Jonathan from the south. Then Jonathan as the president, Namadi Sambo, Jonathan Christian, Namadi Sambo Muslim. Buhari not Muslim. We have Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Christian from the south. So look at it. There's always this kind of sensitivity. Those who are the party politics, they are very much sensitive in that regard. But so far so good. If this kind of permutation has been able to sustain us, well, so be it, all good and well. But the point is, if Muslim is not going to sustain this country, it is better to just do away with it. But some are saying it's a black market. That if it's going to be a trial, if it's going to be a test, that fine, perhaps we just give it a shot. But in my opinion, Nigeria we need to be very careful, because we have never been so disengaged. We have never been so divided. Check the history of this country. As we speak now, the country is so ethnic conscious, and we are so divided. That's why you see so many agitations. Some are clamoring for Odua nation. Some are saying they want to be Biafra. Even some people in the north are saying they want to have the Arewa. That's okay. If anybody wants to go, let them just go. If they want to secede, we just secede. So this is my point: is that as it stands now, the issue of either Muslim ticket should not be the point. We should look at competency, look at agility, look at responsiveness. These are things we have to put into, and look at the intellectual capacity. Is this a man who knows his right from his left? Is this a man who can handle the steering of this country and will drive this country to the promised land? Enough of having Stoogie as president. And who is a Stoogie? A Stoogie is a man who is just, who is unpicked somewhere, and some oligarchs, some cabals, they will just run around with the man and they will place him at the helm of affairs. So my point is, enough of that. It is high time we have a man who can handle this, who can pilot the affair of this nation. A man who will stand on his foot, not a man who today in London, in the hospital, anybody could fall sick anyway, by the way. But the point is, when the sickness is becoming, when age is becoming a factor, a man who is supposed to be at home, who are supposed to have retired from public service, who is supposed to be sleeping at home or attending to his grandchildren, and you are placing the man to be in charge of the country. My brother, no. I mean, it doesn't work like that. There's a difference between. Let me just borrow from education, androgogy and pedagogy. Pedagogy, the way you are going to teach the youth, is very from the way you teach an adult. A man who is the way you teach a man who is in his 70s or 80s. So what I'm saying in essence is, as we speak now, we need to look for competency. And now again, we need to look at a unifier, a man who can unify this country. There was a time in this country that during the Salah break, during the Eid al-Kabir, the Muslim holiday, the Muslim festivals, Christians will go to their house to go and eat. We'll go to the Muslim to go and eat rams. How many people can do that anymore? During Christmas, it's always the house, the door is always open for Muslims to come inside. We marry together. How many people can do that anymore? Even to travel to the north now, it becomes a nightmare, becomes headache. You need to start looking for those houses that you trust, people that are living in that particular area. So, like I said, these are things which are not. We have to look out for a unifier, somebody who can unify this country genuinely. Not a man, a caricature man who wants to come and give us a fake unification. No. A man who is agile. A man who has the intellectual capacity. A man who will always, who is always on his foot, is always on the move. I mean, today is thinking about this, tomorrow is thinking about that. It's not just this is the kind of man we should look out for. A man who is economically competent, who can tell you that if we engage in this part of activity, it's going to affect the country. But if we embrace this particular activity, it's going to boost our economy and we are going to be better for it. A man who can think in whole sector. In short, we need to look for a man who is very vast, and a man who is strong. Health should also be a factor. So these are things you should watch out for.
All right, thank you very much. Then before we go to your advice, some politicians, when they get to regime, when they get to the power, they easily forget their promises.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, maybe after 7 and a half years, now they'll be trying to put things in place. And I see that as closing the stable door after the horse has gone, because the citizens they have already changed their mind that these people, they are incompetent. Now, just to rectify that kind of thing, we don't want that kind of thing to occur again. That whatsoever you do from the day one you emerge as the governor, president, or anything, start the work. Let them know. But there is this adage that says that when a child falls down, you look at the front. But when an adult falls down, you look at the back. Look at what's falling you down. And at the same time, it is being said and good for you to learn from others' mistakes, not from your own mistake. Now, that will bring you to the advice. What is your advice for the upcoming administration?
Well, my advice is that the upcoming administration should always look at look at the loopholes. Look at where we've gotten it all wrong. And now make a kind of, make adequate changes to those areas. You were saying something the other time, you were talking about when they emerges as the either president or head of state, they easily forgot what the promises that they promised their citizens.
Yes.
Now, why? How imagine a man who has traveled abroad to secure loan to campaign. Then, what do you think will happen to such a man if he emerges as a president? He's going to use 6 months of all the money, resources we have in the coffer to pay for those loans. So the problem is, most of the time, it is not the individual that is coming into work. It is always the kind of the institutions that are backing this, that are supporting this the journey that are always. Now, what am I saying? Let me not muddle it all up together. We have the constitution. We have the political parties. Just imagine recently, 100 million naira for primaries. And you think that same man will come in, and you think that same man will not see politics as a business, instead of seeing it as a service, we rather see it as a kind of a place where he could just get his own money. He could loot the country dry and everything. It's a national cake.
Take your own and leave the rest.
So my advice is that if the constitution is not serving the interest of a common man, what is the whole essence of the constitution, for crying out loud? If the institutions are very weak, for example, if you have corrupt elements that are making laws, the best time to stop it is now.
Yes.
And how do you stop it? Is that we have to bring back our values, our value systems. Enough of giving, like I said once on this program, and enough of giving things coloration. A man has stolen money. You said he has misappropriated the money.
A thief is a
A
thief.
thief is a thief. A man who has looted the country, and you think you said it's just a kind of money. You still have a case of the Accountant General of the Federation. It's still in court.
Money laundering, thief is a thief.
A thief is a thief.
Looting, thief is a thief.
Look at in China. Those who are caught in that particular act, they used to kill them. I mean, it's just going to be straight. It's not. There's no two way about
Even
it.
in Korea.
So look at our military architecture. Now, uncommon, they are not. If a citizen of America is in trouble in Nigeria, they will organize how they will set him free. They will, all the way from the US. They will come from the US to set him free. On our own soil here, where we have virtually barracks everywhere in this country. Like I said, I love using Nigeria State as example.
Yes.
Check close to 5 or 6 barracks, major barracks not just in Oyo State, in Ibadan alone. Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, over 5 or 6 of them. One at Ojo, one along Akubo, one along General Gas area. There's one Air Force also there. We have Air Force, we have Navy, we have all of them. They are all situated, and kidnappers are holding people into they are taking people into ransom in this country. And the family of these people, they will still carry a humongous amount of money, huge amount of money to go and give to those kidnappers. Recently, like I said, I also said on this program that the bread seller was kidnapped. Tell me ransom that bread seller wants to pay. So the point is, if institutions are not working, let us fix them. Our anti-graft agencies, let us empower them. If you are going to give up, like I said, there was a time we had a kind of program that we're talking about World Bank. And if they are going to give out money, there should be money. The money should be monitored. If President is going to release any money, there should be a kind of audit, in short, a proper auditing unit to go and look into it. And they should also monitor the money. Whatever you have done with the money, bring it to let's see what you've done with the money. There should be a kind of a proper video. There should be those who are going to handle it. The maintenance, if it's going to be 6 years or 10 years maintenance, that money should be appropriate, should be given to that cause. So these are the problems. Unless money is going to come and rule this country, has a whole lot of job to do. And that's why I'm actually hoping that the right man will emerge. And enough of, after emerging as a president or governor, you are still spending 6 months before you set up your cabinet. No. What are you doing even before? In short, either you are going to win or not, start thinking of those you can work with.
Yes.
Those who can help you to pilot the affairs of the nation. It's not a one-man show. It is a collective, it's a teamwork. So you need to look out for something like that. So these are my few advices to those who are going to anybody who's going to. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Mr. Fizen. Yes, viewers, I think you've added it all from Mr. Fizen. And here is where we draw the curtain for today on Express Politics on TVLC. Do you join us same time, same station? Don't go away. Bye.